Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Miss Gooding, and I'm here to talk to you about the Paris Peace Conference and the Treaty of Versailles. The things that I want you to understand at the end of this lecture are: number one, what was the Paris Peace Conference? Number two, what was the Treaty of Versailles? And number three, what did the Treaty of Versailles specifically do? To answer the first question, the Paris Peace Conference was a large international meeting that took place at the end of World War I, led by the winners of World War I, which were specifically the Allied nations. So this is a picture of the four main leaders that met at this conference. And on the left-hand side, we have Lloyd George, who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. To his right, we have Vittorio Orlando. He was the leader of Italy. Here we have the Prime Minister of France, Georges Clemenceau. And on the right-hand side, we have Woodrow Wilson, the President of the United States. So at this Paris Peace Conference, there were a lot of discussions that were had, but specifically, I want to talk about the Treaty of Versailles. And the Treaty of Versailles was a major part of the Paris Peace Conference, but it was only one decision that was made. But basically, the Treaty of Versailles was a series of decisions made by the Allies in order to figure out what they were going to do with Germany. Before I go into the four things that they definitely decided in the Treaty of Versailles, you need to understand that France and Britain were very angry at Germany. They had lost so many men. They had lost so much money, and they really, really wanted to punish Germany. So the Treaty of Versailles involved four different things. Number one, the Treaty of Versailles assigned war guilt to Germany. So the Allies wanted Germany to be known as the perpetrator of World War I. They were at fault for the war itself. All blame put on Germany's shoulders. The second thing the Treaty of Versailles did is it forced Germany to pay reparations, something called reparations. So these reparations were basically were gold or natural resources or money itself in order to pay the Allies for their losses. And you need to understand that at the end of World War I, Germany also had lost a lot. And so they didn't have a whole lot of money in order to pay these reparations. So that was really difficult for them. So they ended up having to pay reparations for many, many decades. And so this made a lot of Germans very, very bitter because the young people of Germany were paying these reparations that they didn't even have any idea why they were paying them, because they didn't even really live during World War I. And so there was a lot of bitterness. The third thing that the Treaty of Versailles did is it limited Germany's army to 100,000 people, which is exceptionally small, especially in comparison to where it was during World War I. It also limited their ability to create submarines, U-boats, military airplanes, battleships. And so basically the Treaty of Versailles decimated Germany's military. The fourth thing that the Treaty of Versailles did is it stripped Germany of a lot of their territory. So let me show you a map. On the left-hand side is a map of Europe pre-World War I. You can see how large Germany is. You can see Austria-Hungary. Okay, and if you take a look at the map to its right, this is a map of post-World War I Europe. And you can see the territory that Germany lost in comparison on these two maps. You also see that Austria-Hungary was divided into many nations. And you can also see that there was a mixing up also of these countries that were located in the southeast part of Europe. And so there were a lot of decisions made that impacted all of these countries at the Paris Peace Conference. So one other thing that Germany had to deal with regards to being stripped of territory is that they had built up a lot of colonies around the world. They were an imperial nation, and so they went in and, they took over parts of West Africa, the Pacific Islands, and they even had a colony in China. But at the Paris Peace Conference, and as a part of the Treaty of Versailles, they were forced to give those colonies over to the Allies. So the Treaty of Versailles really angered a lot of Germans. Of course, I'm sure you can probably imagine why. And the Treaty of Versailles actually kind of set us up, or set Europe up, for a leader like Hitler and the conflicts that Europe had to face, and then eventually the United States had to face in what is known as World War II. Thanks for listening, you guys.